In this video, we are going to explore a powerful question. Why does a poor person often remain poor for a lifetime, while a rich person continues to grow richer over time? Is the difference really about money, or is it about the way people think, their mindset? Through this story, you will discover the truths about money that schools never teach, and the way of thinking that can break the cycle of poverty and lead to financial freedom. Once upon a time, in a small town, there lived a young boy named Robert. He was curious about the world and loved asking questions about life, about people, and most importantly, about money. Robert had two father figures in his life, but they couldn't have been more different in how they thought about wealth and success. The first was his biological father, whom he called Poor Dad. Poor Dad was highly educated and worked a secure government job. He believed in studying hard, getting good grades, and finding a stable career. He often said, "Play it safe," and "Money is not everything." To him, job security was the ultimate goal. Yet despite earning a steady income, Poor Dad constantly worried about bills, about taxes, about retirement. He worked all his life, but never felt financially secure. The second father figure was his friend's father, known as Rich Dad. Rich Dad had little formal education and never finished high school, but he deeply understood how money works. He owned businesses, he made investments, and his mind always searched for opportunities. Rich Dad didn't work for money, he made money work for him. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," he asked, "How can I afford it?" He encouraged Robert to learn, to take calculated risks, and to think beyond the ordinary. Robert was confused. How could two intelligent men see money so differently? He noticed something important. Poor Dad worked harder and longer hours, yet money always seemed to disappear. Rich Dad worked less, earned more, and his wealth kept growing. Robert wanted to know the secret. One day, he asked Rich Dad, "Why are you rich and my dad is not?" Rich Dad smiled and said, "Robert, it's not about how much you earn. It's about how you think about money." That moment changed everything. Lesson 1. Don't work for money. Rich Dad made Robert work for very little pay. Sometimes he delayed paying him at all. Robert felt frustrated, but Rich Dad said, "I want you to learn something more valuable than a paycheck." Most people work their entire lives just to survive. They are controlled by fear and desire. Fear of being poor and desire for comfort. They never learn to make money work for them. Robert realized that people who work only for money often become slaves to it. True wealth comes from assets, things that generate money even when you are not working. Lesson 2. Financial literacy. Rich Dad explained a simple rule. Assets put money into your pocket. Liabilities take money out. Houses, cars, and gadgets can look impressive, but they often drain money instead of creating it. Robert understood something powerful. Even people with high salaries can stay poor if they keep buying liabilities. Meanwhile, Rich Dad's assets earned him money year after year. Schools teach you how to work for money, Rich Dad said, but not how to make money work for you. Lesson 3. Mind your own business. Most people focus only on their job. They spend their best energy building someone else's dream. Rich Dad taught Robert, focus on building your assets. Rental properties, businesses that run without you, investments that grow over time. That is how long-term wealth is created. Lesson 4. Taxes and corporations. Rich Dad revealed a hidden truth. The rich understand the rules of money. They use corporations to reduce taxes, protect assets, and create opportunities. Poor Dad followed rules blindly. Rich Dad studied the rules and used them wisely. Knowledge, not luck, creates wealth. Lesson 5. The rich invent money. Opportunities are everywhere, Rich Dad said. The rich don't wait for money, they create it. Fear of loss stopped most people, but Rich Dad taught Robert that education reduces risk. Doing nothing is the biggest risk of all. Lesson 6. Work to learn, not to earn degrees can bring comfort, but skills create freedom. Selling, communication, leadership, investing. Robert learned by doing. He failed, he learned, and he tried again. Every mistake became a lesson. The transformation. Over time, Robert stopped chasing.
He focused on learning, on building assets, on creating opportunities. Wealth became more than money. It became freedom of choice. Fear traps people. Knowledge sets them free. As Robert grew older, he heard both voices in his mind. Poor dad's caution, rich dad's courage. This time he chose differently. He invested wisely, built businesses, and never stopped learning. Money became his tool, not his master. Rich Dad. Poor Dad is not just a book, it is a lesson in mindset. True wealth comes from financial education. Assets create freedom, not income. Fear keeps you trapped. Knowledge sets you free. The difference between the poor and the rich is not money. It is how they think.